Hey, so this is an old clip. This is an old clip. This is from a podcast from a year ago. This was a year ago. This is Ish of the Joe Budden podcast. He's on the Need to Know podcast with Savon, who works for the JBP. And hey, I'm a JBP fan, bro. I signed up for the Patreon. I've been a Patreon member for a minute now. But this is, for some reason, this back up in my algorithm. Since I'm reacting to things, I might as well go ahead and react to this. Since I've been watching the Joe Budden podcast for a while, yo. I've been watching the Joe Budden podcast for a while.
I really don't know. But when Joe asked that question, you being his friend, you knowing him, do you feel like that was the true intention? Or do you feel like, hey, maybe this is how I'll dress it up?
Now, they're discussing the split between Rory Mal and Joe Budden and the addition of Ish Nice.
Me try to secure myself either way.
No, because again, we thought Rory and Mal was coming back.
Got it.
So he was like, yo, they gonna come back, but I think y'all should explore an avenue. Maybe y'all could come up with y'all own shit if y'all want it.
On his network or independently?
He didn't even speak. Okay. I would assume that he was talking about on his network. Mm-hmm. But he was like, yo, y'all could do a show. He was like, yo, if y'all want, I'll come on the show as the third person, or y'all could just explore some shit. Yo, read the comments. They like y'all.
At that point, would you have considered it? Because I know you were still new. I know at that time you was doing it as a favor.
Yeah, I would have.
But would you have considered doing it?
Yeah, I would have. Because
despite...
I liked it.
I could imagine, if I'm Rory and Mal at that point, no matter what, whether y'all did another show, because I think there was a lot of rumors or a lot of the fans.
So Ish, Joe, Ice, Rory Mal, they all kind of friends at some juncture. I think Ice still kick it with Rory and Mal, at least still talk to Rory and Mal occasionally. And I guess they got mad or they started feeling the type of way. Who knows? I don't even pay attention to their shit since they split. I watched a few episodes that it wasn't hitting. It wasn't hitting for me, so I was off of it. But I will say, having a business with friends is, hey, that shit is tricky. I don't care if it's a podcast. I don't care what it is. Doing business with friends is always tricky, and I love the way that Joe does it. At least now, he don't really want to talk to his friends about the business. Hey, talk to your lawyer. Tell your lawyer to get with my lawyer, and that's how we handle it. And that's the way it should be. That's not the way it always happens, though.
Joe to
let's continue this.
Yeah.
He was like, yo, I want him to stick with Ice and Ish, but I also want the original crew of Joe, Rory, and Mal, right? If I'm Rory and Mal, I could look at that and be like, wait, what the fuck is going on here?
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Why? If you Rory and Mal, why would you look at it like that?
If I'm myself, let me not say if I'm Rory and Mal. Yeah. If I'm myself, if I'm that like if you would have brought in another producer at that time. At that time, Joe was building a network, right? Mm-hmm. He had a ton of different shows, and I was the point on all of those shows. Gotcha. Meaning I was uploading, distributing, writing all the descriptions, help whatever he needed me to do for the network at that time, I was there. However many days he needed, boom. Had he brought somebody else in during circumstances where maybe him and I may have not been on the best terms, but then I come back and there's somebody else, I may have felt like, damn, does he truly believe in me? Does he really fuck with me? Am I super replaced? But again, I can't speak for those guys.
Why do you think it's apples and oranges?
Because Savon is saying like, yo, that's his job.
Your job is to get on the mics with Joe.
His job was, I'm producing for all of these shows. In Joe's owning a network, Joe's job is to put out shows. If I'm fucking Dick Wolf and I got Law and Order over here and I got CSI over here, they not beefing. It's two separate shows.
LLIC.
You get what I'm saying? They two separate shows. I'm now fulfilling more requests from the network subscribers.
That's a fact. Hey, that's a fact what he just said, bro.
But what I'll say to that is,
I'm gonna try not to talk too much doing this because it is a good clip, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna chop it up anyway.
that's true. But the inception of your show happened in a tumultuous time.
It did.
When me and my crew, the original crew, was going through some shit. Had the Ice-ish Joe podcast been a thought, been a work in progress prior to
Them
the
beefing.
friction, I think that's a little bit different. There's a different argument.
It
there.
is a different argument, but I'm saying that for me, I can speak for me. If my check was the same, I wouldn't have given a fuck what them niggas was doing over there.
Man.
Because again, I think that Ice and myself had totally different content than Rory and Maul. So it wouldn't have stopped their flow.
But you would have never known anything about the content had we not gone through what we gone through. You wouldn't. This was not in place. And again, I'm just speaking hypothetically.
Look. Some of the greatest things come from turmoil. Some of the greatest things come from chaos.
Facts.
You get what I'm saying?
Hey,
Like,
shout out
so-
Ish. I'm definitely a fan of Ish, bro. Shout out Ish, bro.